Hey yo, what is going on guys? Cash and Clean here, and for today's video we're talking about the Mount Taming bench here. I've been going through a lot of the professions. I'm going to include this in the professions category as well. So we're going to talk about the Mount Taming bench. Now, completing this bench is going to be a little bit complicated if you're brand new. It's also going to be complicated if you're more mid to end game as well, because you're going to need a lot of talismans, and we'll get into that in a second here. But basically, the nice thing about this bench is that everything is tradable. So any materials that you need, you can just buy those and then craft whatever you need for the mount. And I believe you can find some of the mounts on the marketplace, not all of them. I don't know if they're actually still around, but just know that if you have Flux, you can buy the materials and then you can craft what you need. Now, if we look at the basic category, this is one that doesn't require levels, by the way, so you can kind of start anywhere that you want to. This is why I don't really know if I should consider this a profession, but we might as well. So the main resource that you're going to need, apart from like the talismans, is going to be steed feed. And if you watch my gardening video, then you'll know how to craft these. But if you don't know, then you want to go to the gardening bench. You want to craft some of these, plant those, and then the rich fertilizer that it ends up, harvesting into, you can use the rich fertilizer there. You can also buy them, and you can just get some steed feed here, or you can just buy steed feed from the market. That's an option as well. So that's the thing about this. If you have a lot of flux lying around, so if you're like, I don't know, anywhere in the game, if you can have a good flux making strategy, which I'm going to make a video for this very soon actually. But like I was saying, if you have a really good flux making strat, you can just buy everything and you'll be good to go for that. And for each thing that you have to craft, it's going to be kind of random resources. Not always random, because sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it really doesn't. Like, jellyfish, it's like ocean themed, ancient scales, water, it kind of makes sense there. And I do want to mention that you could also just straight up farm the resources. You don't really have to buy them. This is more of something you can do on the side while you're farming other stuff. Like if you go for gems, or if you do, I don't know, Geode or whatever you want to do, you can do all of that. And then whenever you get the resources, you can come back here and craft whatever you need for mastery. Now let's go over to some of these categories. So this is the basic. You don't really need any talismans for this. But if we go to the corgi over here, you can see over here, corgis need a corgi talisman, meows need a mount talisman, and same for Shmeep, all the way down to carpets. So to even get these talismans, I'm going to tell you right now, these things are incredibly rare. I never get them. And just to do like a little comparison, this is how many corgi talismans I have. Here's my centaur. Now here's my carpets. So as you can see, there's a very massive difference here. I don't know why I said very massive, but anyway, the drop rates are kind of weird when it comes to talismans. I'm just gonna say this now. I had to buy the majority of my talismans. I did end up getting like a decent amount of mounts, some corgis and stuff like that here and there. Getting a griffin one is pretty rare. I have 7, I guess. But yeah, if you're pretty unlucky with farming these things, like if you just don't get it naturally, you can just buy them from the market. They are kind of expensive depending on which one you need, but just know that they're going to be really hard to get. So let's talk about a couple different ways of farming them. This isn't really something you want to go out and farm, because you might not get it at all within the first month of you trying to get it, but it is possible. It kind of also depends on how often you play the game. But basically, a couple important things to note though is on Thursdays, obviously with Patron making this better, you got double the chance of finding talismans, and then triple with Patron here. And I'm not sure if many of you guys know, but if you actually have a club that has this fixture, if you go to fixtures here, go to this, and then the middle Mount Menagiri, I don't even know if I said that right, but anyway, it gives you jump. It also gives you more chance of getting talismans, or I should say finding talismans. Still doesn't really make the odds that much better, but if it ups the odds, then that's always fine. And I know that they added some of these elixir. Never mind, these increase your magic find by 1,000. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Anyway, you get the point. Talismans, pretty hard to come by. You can buy them in the marketplace. Carpets, yeah, these things are, I don't know, I guess they're kind of common. I got these naturally from farming the understacks biome, because if you didn't know, you had to farm that to get the boxes over here. You open these to get these, and then you use these to get these. It was a long process. You needed these to get banners. Pretty terrible process, but now there's a tome for this. But anyway, long story short, looks like these are pretty easy to farm, and each one is a little bit different of where you're going to farm them. So this is understacks. This one over here, you can just kind of hover over them and see how to get them. So this one says very rarely in all adventure worlds. It's going to say that for most of these. This one's Uber 8 and higher. If we go to Corgi though, just keep note that this says Uber 7 and lower. So you can't get this in Uber 8, can't get it in Uber 9, stuff like that. So just hover over which ones you would want to get, or if you're farming gems, you can see which talisman that you can get for that one. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I mentioned already, this is going to be for you mid to end game players. You could do this if you're still brand new to the game. Just whenever you get the resources, you can come here and craft whatever you need. Or if you have like extra flux lying around and you're not sure what to do, you can come here, get some mastery from this. And yeah, it's gonna be all for today's video. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you all later.